Hey guys, today we're going to talk about edible flowers that you can find in the spring. But before we do, I'm Sheri Richardson from Experimental Homesteader, Exotic Gardening, SheriAnnRicherson.com, and biannualblogathonbash.com. And I thought we'd talk about flowers that are either in bloom right now or going to be in bloom very shortly in most of the United States, at least the Midwest area. In the spring, that you can actually eat the petals of. So we're only talking about the flowers right now, not the roots and the bark and all the other things that I know that some people do eat. These flowers not only add a different taste to food, such as dandelions, which have kind of a peppery taste, but they really add a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients that maybe your food doesn't have. Maybe you're lacking that and you don't even realize it. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that the flowers that you pick are grown organically. You don't want flowers that have been sprayed with a bunch of pesticides or doused with a ton of fertilizer. And you definitely don't want flowers that an animal has gone to the bathroom on, because that would not be good. So make sure you know the area that you're getting the plants from and you know how the plants were grown. Now, if you are wild harvesting plants, that's fine. More than likely, those have not been bothered by any type of chemicals, and they're clean plants that are going to be okay to harvest. But again, just veer on the safe side. It really is best if you grow these yourself in your own garden, because then you know how they're grown and you know what you're getting. But I realize that sometimes that's not always possible. And, you know, like dandelions, I picked those from my yard. I actually planted some dandelion seed. So if you want to grow a lot of dandelions for some reason, you can buy dandelion seed. I planted them for the livestock that I had and also so that I could harvest them. I really don't mind the dandelions at all. They do a lot of good to keep the soil broke up, and all parts of them are useful. So, you know. And if you're wondering what do you do with dandelions, you can cook the young stems and leaves down, and you want these young, kind of like you do spinach. The flower petals are edible. You can make dandelion wine. You can tear the petals off and put them in salads. I've made dandelion muffins using the petals. So there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate dandelions into your everyday meals. And this is good because I know some people, you know, it's a dandelion and you may have someone in your family that feels exactly that way. They're not going to eat it. So incorporate it into something they're already eating, and they're more than likely not even going to notice it's there. Another bloom that you can often find in spring is red clover blossoms. And those of you that have had livestock know that horses especially absolutely love red clover. There's a reason for this. Now, you just want the flower off the plant, but again, put it in salads, you know, just mix it in as an herb. Think of it that way. Violets and pansies, those are both great plants to pick the flowers of. You can candy the flowers. You can do so many things, decorate cakes, put them in ice cubes to make pretty drinks. Lots of options there. Tulips. Now, I have not personally eaten a tulip because this is one of the newer edible plants that I found out about. But my understanding is a lot of people use the tulip petals as wraps. So give it a try. You know, if not, chop them up and put them in a salad. You know, pretty colorful salads are something everybody likes, and most people aren't going to ask. They're just going to eat it. Lilac blossoms. Those are edible. Besides being insanely fragrant, they are also edible. And redbud flowers. Now, we've got a redbud tree, and when I first found out that the redbud flowers were edible, I thought to myself, well, I'm going to go out and pick some. I mean, I knew my horse was eating them. I knew the goats would jump up to eat them. But I thought, I'm going to go pick some. And so I picked them, and I brought them inside, and I dehydrated them so that I could get enough and do something with them, because the tree was really tall and there wasn't a lot down low that I could reach that the animals hadn't already helped themselves to. So I washed them up and I dehydrated them, and I used them in pancakes. And I put some in my daughter's pancake, and at first she was kind of like, what is this? And I told her what it was, and she was like, yuck. And I said, just try it. And she loved the pancakes. She asked for more pancakes. So redbud blossoms really are good. And the pretty purple color just really adds that extra something, that little extra festive touch. But really think about the plants that are around you, the plants that are in your yard, you know, maybe the ones you're growing, and do a little bit of research. One place that I found to get a lot of edible plant recipes was Pinterest. Now, I didn't just take the word of the blogger blogging the recipe. I did some back research, and I checked to make sure the plants were actually edible, and that there wasn't an issue with, you know, maybe this variety is edible, but this variety is not. Some plants are like that, and you really have to know what you're going to eat if you're going to eat it. So, like I said, look up some recipes. I don't have any other than these quick tips to share with you right now. But look up the recipes, do a little bit of research, and I want to really encourage you to start adding some edible flowers into your everyday diet. Like I said, most people aren't even going to realize it. Another thing that I like to do is to mix the Himalayan sea salt, the chunks, with flower petals, and then I put it into a grinder, and when I season my food, I grind the flower petals, the salt, and everything up. By doing this, and what I do, I usually put the flower petals in fresh, and I keep an eye to make sure it's not going to mold or anything. You know, shake it up several times over the course of a couple weeks. And then I keep a real close eye. Sometimes I put it all in a dehydrator if necessary to dehydrate stuff. But I kind of try to let the salt absorb the oils out of the flowers and let the flowers dry naturally if at all possible. And then I just combine it all back, because once the flowers are dry, they're not likely to mold and everything's going to be good. But if you're uncomfortable with doing that, then go ahead and dehydrate the flower petals first, and then put it in with the salt in the grinder, and just grind it up fresh as you're going to use it, or just use the flower petals fresh. You know, just chop them up like you would any type of herb and put them in. Now, I know there's a lot of other edible flowers that throughout the summer you can find, like squash blossoms, dianthus. I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. Roses. Roses is another one that's really good and high in vitamin C. Lots and lots. Some varieties of marigolds, nasturtiums. You know, and another thing that you can do, if you want to grow the edible flowers, but you really only have a vegetable garden, is put a few of those edible flowers in with the vegetable gardens. The popular term for it is companion planting, and those flowers really help to bring the pollinators into the garden, and they make it look really pretty. Plus, like I said, it's just one more thing that you can put on your menu and use as a food or a seasoning to feed your family with. So I hope that's helpful, you guys. Please subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see coming up. I can make all kinds of gardening videos, cooking videos. I could do some DIY with the Cricut. Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another daily vlog.